Yo,
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 145.
145. Who knew?
No, that's not how you gotta go 145. Come on.
145. Who knew?
Is keto brain messing with you that
It
hard?
really is. I'm on week
Is it?
4.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I look great. That's a no-brainer. But the keto brain is kind of real. It's kind of real.
Yeah. What do you think of, do you think my memory is so bad. Do you think it hurts your memory? Think it just makes you slower to react?
Yeah, probably memory. Like, I just find myself like just kind of doing some dumb shit. You know, like I filled up my water bottle today and then like picked it up from the top to like take it downstairs and I hadn't screwed it in and just like went everywhere. Like just like little dumb stuff like that.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's really a thing. I probably have the worst memory of any person I've ever met, and I don't know if it's like uh, motorcycle accidents or
Mm.
keto brain or what. I think it's probably a combination of everything. But it's like I just don't remember things. I'm like, we had that conversation. Oh,
Yeah.
don't remember. So
But I tell you what, man, I'm waiting for this time where people are like, people are always like, yo, you're not gonna crave sweets, and like, I'm waiting. I want my
yeah,
sweets, man. I want my carbs. I
do
want my
you? I
sweets.
I don't know if the I don't know if it goes away. I don't think it like completely leaves your system. But like I don't have the cravings where I'm like, dude, it's like you know, like I'd say like I haven't smoked, but say like a cigarette craving or like I just gotta have it. It's not enough to like make me cheat on the diet, but there's never a spot where I'm like, dude, that cookie looks horrible. I'm
Yeah,
always like, ooh, that would
true.
be delicious to eat.
Yeah, for
But the
me,
thing is
it's like the meals I'm having are great. Like I can deal with that. Like
mhm,
they're fulfilling. It's just like I'm getting really burned out on snacks,
mm,
like
yeah.
cheese and
Snacking's the hard
eggs.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, snacking's definitely the hard part. Um, I'm pretty easy though. I can eat the same thing over and over. But yeah, cheese sticks are like staple. But I'm with you, man. It'd be nice to pop a bag of chips every now and then. I do find that when I cheat though, I end up thinking afterwards like it was good, but it wasn't that good, and I feel guilty. I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have had that.
Yeah.
Like damn it.
I
Now
actually
I.
like because I had the strips,
Mhm.
and I every time they say like, "Oh, you're deep, you're deep, you're deep," and so I
Yeah.
was like, I just feel like these are broken. So I had like a little bit of bread, like I had like a breadstick with a salad,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it popped me out. So I guess
I'm
it's
telling you, you can't
correct. I
fucking
just don't
you
feel
can't.
any different. I just like I guess I expected all these stories. I just expected to
No,
feel so different, and I don't.
you can't fuck around with those that stuff, man. So check this out.
Okay,
You
what do you
see?
got there?
It's a nice little controller case
Oh,
for my phone. It just pops on. Got my case. My case is still there, but you just snap your phone into this thing. And then you got some handles, man. That's
does
it.
that?
There's no controls on it. It's
Yeah.
just handles. So it does let you grip. So I don't know any of you guys have been playing Immortal, which I guess it's just us, sorry, guys. But the power cord, it's rest in between my
Hmm.
fingers. Man, it was jacking my hands up. I had like blisters from that thing rubbing on my hand. So I got this thing, and then I got a 90-degree angle cable
Mm,
that you can plug in, and then now I have this setup. But
wow. For someone that never
pretty,
plays, that's impressive setup you got going.
yeah. I tried to make it like super bearable, man. And because the game I feel like is pretty good. We'll get into it, but I just
Okay.
wanted to showcase the little. It was cheap, man. The controller was like $12 or something. It
Yeah.
wasn't, it wasn't a lot of money, but
Yeah, I should look into that because, yeah, I mean, let's just get into that, I guess, right? Right out of the gate
yeah.
is, well, we should do polls first, actually.
Let's talk about the poll. Yeah,
Polls. Okay.
polls.
Poll number 1 from last week. We
Mhm.
asked, pause champ, should Diablo 4 allow the ability to pause while playing alone? Hell yes or nah? I'll let you guys vote one last time. There's
Yep.
12 minutes left to vote. Wow, wow, wow. But yeah, the overwhelming response has been hell yes by 86%.
Yeah. That's I don't see how they're gonna do that, unless they're gonna let you instance your own world environment, which seems unlikely, you know?
I wouldn't think that there's anything to stop them from, because like dungeons will be instance, so
Mhm.
you'd think that that would be fine. But
maybe specific areas. If you're instanced, it would let you pause. But if you're in the world somewhere, it's like, nah, sorry, dude.
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's a cool feature that D3 has that I underutilize because I forget you can even do it
right.
a lot of times. You know,
I definitely overutilized.
I don't know of any other game that does that though, aside from D3.
I mean, like any single player game, right?
Yeah, but what ARPGs? Like
I don't know.
none. I can't. I mean, they're all online now.
Jack, can you pause in Grim Dawn? I don't think so. I don't know though.
Could you? I mean, I guess Diablo 2 Alpha, did it pause when we went to our
Yes,
escape screen?
I think so.
I think I got hit in my inventory, so it doesn't pause when you go inventory, but if you can just hit escape and pause the game, I guess it does.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean that's cool. I would say if they
Pause in Grim
can
Dawn.
pull it off, then sure, do it.
Yeah, man. It's such a nice QOL.
don't
It's not
expect
even like, you know, obviously you guys are hearing me and it's like, oh, as a streamer, it's great because I just pause and catch up with chat. But like, it's so nice. Like your wife or whatever is like,
phone
please help
rings.
me bring in the
Yeah.
groceries. And you're like, oh, I can't. I'm in the middle of a map. You know, like that's
Yeah,
the worst.
Your cat starts throwing up all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what, dude? You know?
It's so nice. So nice.
Yeah.
Love that feature.
But yeah, so Diablo Immortal dropped on Thursday, I think. So we didn't talk about it. Did we? Did it come out Thursdays ago, or was it last Thursday?
Last Thursday.
Yeah. So it came out Thursday. And it's been a nice little update. They put out a video to tell you about there's a lot of new stuff that they added to this alpha.
Yeah.
The last one. So
yeah, I mean the biggest thing, and you know, one of the things I want to say right out of the gate before me and P kind of dive into our thoughts is one, as I don't think that either of us have really played this as much as, you know, at least I wanted to or should have to really have a full review. And two, you know, we are actively looking at getting somebody on for the podcast next week that has really gone, you know, big dick this round, like I did last round, and we just want to get like the full update and thoughts and stuff like that. So we are looking into that for next week. But yeah, like initial impressions, you know, they got the Crusader now, so that's the biggest change, right? They got the Crusader change, you got 2 new acts, and they talked about this new like faction-based system called the Immortals and the Shadow, and that all seems to be pretty cool. It is all PvP focused. It's a little PvP, which I guess I'm a little surprised about, but I don't really know mobile games.
Yeah, in real-time PvP action on a mobile game seems like a weird thing. I guess it's, you know, my thing would be connection based. Like if you're on cell phone service running around, how's that going to play? I guess they're assuming you're playing at home on Wi-Fi with a nice connection. But yeah, they added a 48 player raid in this one too. I don't know. Is that testable? That's in this one, isn't it? I haven't done it.
I really couldn't tell you.
I think so. I think they added a 48 player raid, which is pretty nutty. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
They do separate it out though. There are 4 wings. Like you go into the raid and there's bosses in all 4 corners, and you kind of have to split up and go kill bosses. So you're not all 48 of you are banging the same guy at the same time, but it does take 48 people to coordinate together and get it done. I think that's what they're showcasing maybe now. I'm not sure. But yeah, and they added the Immortal and Shadow system. It's like a PvP system where there's like 500 on a server, up to 500 people can be Immortals, and then everybody else are Shadows. If you opt into the system, there's Adventurers, which are just like the normal dudes that are like everybody that's playing the game, and then you can opt into this new PvP system, and then you become a Shadow unless you overthrow the Immortals, and then you can become one of the 500 Immortals. It's kind of like a really quick generic overview of it, and you need to, like, this video does a pretty good job of explaining it. They put a 5-minute video out about the updates for this round, so for me to sit here and try to hit them all is impossible, but pretty cool, man. I actually haven't played Crusader. I've been playing Barb. I played the Wizard. They call it a Wizard or Sorcerer. I don't remember what they call it in this
Wizard
game.
I think.
Yeah, so I've been playing I played Wizard last go around, so this time I wanted to try Barb, so I've been playing Barb. I actually like it more. I think he feels a little bit more natural to play on the phone than the Wizard did. But
yeah, I started as Crusader. I had every intent to kind of not go as ham as I did the first time, obviously. But I definitely wanted to give it a proper go and get to the new axe and test the new stuff for sure. But I was physically unable to, which was kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last podcast. So what's the updates? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so that last pod we talked about how I went to the doctor and she had me do these like really basic tests, and like it was pretty eye-opening because my left hand sucks apparently. And so I had MRI last week and a bunch of x-rays. They haven't told me anything yet, but they did call me back to have more x-rays.
That doesn't sound good.
Right?
Yeah.
That just kind of freaks me out because it's like, oh shit, like look at this lump. Let's see it from a different angle, right?
Right.
But yeah, and then this week, tomorrow, I get a couple EMGs done on both my arms, and that's just where they send like electrical current and try to figure out like if all the responses are good to go. And I should know by May 6th, which unfortunately isn't very soon still. But yeah, I was holding the phone and I was just playing, and then my hand would just I get the shakes and I can't hold up the phone, and there's no fucking controller. I can like hold an Xbox controller all day right now.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with Immortal. So we were having discussions in my stream, and of course when you stream Diablo Immortal, you get a lot of memes, you get a lot of hate. Like the toxicity is like triple of a normal stream when I'm playing Immortal.
Really? Versus Diablo 2?
Yeah, it's nutty. Like Diablo 2, I got a lot of toxicity because people were jealous they didn't get an alpha invite, but not so much at the game. Like everybody was happy and excited for the game. But Diablo 2, I get a lot of like, oh, Diablo 2, it's a mobile game meme kind of stuff. And I was talking to chat, and I was like, you guys realize that an iPhone 12 has like over twice the horsepower of a Nintendo Switch, right? Like it's literally twice as beefy. And then people wanted to argue it. And I'm like, go do the research yourself. Like I don't have to. Like they can run benchmarks on an iPhone and it will literally double. Like GPU and CPU performance will double when a Nintendo Switch does. So from a graphical standpoint, people are cool with the Switch. If you tell people that a game's coming out on Switch, they're not like, oh, it's a Switch, lol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think you get super excited for it, right? But your iPhone is more powerful than a Switch, so it's kind of nutty. From a graphical standpoint, I think the game looks really good. But from a control scheme standpoint, like I am just not a mobile gamer, man. I don't know, like if it's because I grew up with controllers and keyboard and mouse, but I just dislike it. I dislike having physical buttons to press because I'm constantly having to look for the buttons. Like I'll try to press it. If I don't look at them, then I'll mispress it. I'm like, oh, I didn't hit the right spot this one time and it got me killed, or whatever. So
yeah, and for me, every time when I immediately start up the game, like I just have, because I have a iPhone 11 Pro, which is a pretty nice phone.
Yeah.
But it's like the screen's just like, it's just too small to, I don't know, see anything in great detail. So I always end up like, like really squinting and like really hunching over and like just, yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Just a gaming posture and holding the phone and, putting the weight on my pinkies and ring fingers. And then like, my thumbs are taking up my real estate space instead of like just having a controller that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the weird thing is like so the way that I stream it is I have an HDMI adapter that plugs into my lightning port. And I literally have a physical cable that goes from my phone to my capture card. So it's probably like the best quality you could get for the phone. And when I split that and throw one of it, so I mirror that image, one goes to my monitor, one goes to OBS. When it's on my monitor, it looks good. Like it looks better than a Nintendo Switch, than Diablo 3 on Nintendo Switch. Like straight up. It looks like a better game. And I'm just like, man, if they would port this to Switch somehow, some way, the Switch actually has touch control. So if you're worried about interface management or things that you can't get that touch, you need that touch for, it's like Switch has touch. I guess they have to support controller full-fledged if you have it docked though, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But man, I'm just like, if they would port this game, it'd be nutty. So it's a double-edged sword though, man, because the game actually is fun to play. It's Probably a better Diablo game than Diablo 3. Maybe it's kind of early to say that, but I do feel like at least it's fresh and it feels good. Um, and but you have to just use your mobile device or maybe I'll try to get it on my daughter's my iPad's too crappy to run the game. It's too old, and I don't want to buy a new one to play Diablo Immortal. So it's like my daughter has a newer one. I'll try to throw it on hers and see if hers will play it better. See if an iPad feels better, but
Yeah.
it just sucks, man, that there's no controller. So hopefully when they officially release it, we can get some kind of controller support. Either first party or third party. If Razer wants to come out with a controller and they make the control schemes work, and Blizzard doesn't have to touch it and they can keep their hands clean, cool. Or if BlueStacks or something else.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that is what's going to lead us into our poll in just a second. But I do agree also on the front of there's probably more to do in Immortal than there is in Diablo 3, and it's an effing mobile game, which is super sad.
Yeah.
Between what we saw from the first alpha, and now we see this PvP system. Plus, they've got that system where you like kill bosses or something like.
Mm-hmm.
That progressively gets harder over time.
Yeah,
I
forget the name. I forget what they called it, but there's basically I want to say like a challenge boss. I wish I could remember the wording they used, but it's basically a character check. It's like, yo, can you kill this character? And I think it's like every month it's going to rotate out, and they get progressively harder, and to see if your character is geared enough to do it.
Yeah,
and it's definitely a milestone to hit. So
yeah,
The game's like, I don't think there's a lack of things to do in the game. Honestly, it feels like you're not logging in and like, well, I don't really have much to do right now. It seems like there's so many systems. I almost feel like there might be too many things at this point for them. And I hope it's not a thing, but it's like you log in, you got Challenge Rift, Elder's Rift, you're doing bounties, you got raids, you got the PvP system, you can quest. I mean, these are all different various things. And maybe when you hit end game final in the game, you're going to drop some of those systems out. But I almost, I'm not like it's a bad thing to have a lot. But what I'm saying is I'm afraid that it's going to end up being like, oh, this one thing is really good and we're going to ignore the rest. I hope that's not what it turns into. I hope it's a thing where we hit all the systems. So,
yeah, I mean, in phase 1, you definitely, you juiced out everything that you were supposed to do in a day, like pretty quick. And then you were just kind of like grinding for mats. So I would hope there's.
I haven't hit it hard though to see like, okay, if I go crazy hard, am I out of things to do, or am I only doing this one activity? Because that would feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've popped into some streams of people like they're actually going hard, and again, some of the people we're trying to get on for next week to really talk about it, because I feel bad because I should know what I'm talking about right now, and I really don't. But yeah, like it seems like they're kind of doing almost the same thing as the first session, where it's like they're grinding dungeons, they're doing the events that pop up, to get better mats. And I haven't seen anyone like go solo farm a zone like we were doing in the first alpha, but I don't know if that's like not as good as the dungeon is now or what. But I'm curious to hear from one of those guys of what that grind looks like now. And in the first round of alpha, like DH was significantly better than most other classes. So I'm curious if there's still like a gap, or if there's anything that's kind of performing or overperforming or underperforming.
I've heard Crusader is doing really well. I don't necessarily know if that means it's outperforming everything else, but everybody says it feels juicy. So
what I will say too is when I was playing the Crusader, after being rank 1 worldwide barbarian alpha 1, the fact that like all the skills look different, all the skills like do different things, but the fact that you're kind of doing that same animation, like there's got the skills that you point, and it's got to be the circle within a circle. You got skills that you cone, and they have to point in this right direction. You have skills you have to charge up, and that made everything feels like the same. So like I didn't feel like playing the Crusader was a very different experience than playing a Barb, because it was like, even though the skills were different technically, right? But the fact that you're doing the same, right? Yeah, you're doing the same thing. It made it feel very similar, which is not something I really noticed the first time around, because I played the Barb really.
Yeah, I agree with that. Playing the Wizard and going to the Barb, they do feel a little different, because the Wizard, you want that distance, you want the the range in between you and your target, but And I think the barb felt less punished for getting hit. Like it honestly felt like a tankier, easier to play class. You could just sit there and just melee and get all up in it, and you're usually pretty fine. But it's I didn't notice a huge. I don't have a lot of desire to change my skills around either. Like once I have things set the way that they are, unless I get legendaries that modify specific skills in ways to make me want to change them, it's like, okay, I want to use like Whirlwind on the barb was just like kind of your go-to, and I'm just hammering of ancients and leaping at stuff, and it's like I don't really have a desire to change it. If I change my skills, I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel as good, and I just go back. And I don't know if that's me just being used to the skills, like, oh, I understand how these work really well, so I'm gonna keep using them, or maybe they'll get juiced up later on. But it was cool, man. I would say like I actually played the game, and I think the intent that it was kind of designed for, at least in my mind. My wife was watching TV the other day, and I was kind of hanging out with her, and she was watching a show I wasn't super interested in. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pull my phone out and play Immortal on the couch, you know?
Yeah.
And so I did, and I sat there for like, 45 minutes or whatever, and I played Immortal till I don't remember how long my battery lasted, but I basically played until it drained my phone battery dead. And then I was like, oh, that sucks. I got to go plug my phone in. But it was cool. I think it did that job very well. I think that was like one of the coolest things about it, is I was able to just, I'm chilling. I got nothing to do. I don't want to leave my wife, so I'll just do some bounties on Immortal.
Yeah.
And I went and knocked out some bounties. It was cool.
Yeah, that's something I've been noticing a lot more, because I've been streaming a bit less lately because of, health stuff, and I've been hanging out IRL with people more. And
what? Don't lie.
I know.
How much are you paying them?
Like thousands.
Nice.
No, I've just been noticing that, like, people, obviously we've had this conversation 100 times, but like they're just more attached to their phone. And I do see mobile games more. Like people are just like, they have stuff going, like when they open up their phone, and they're just like checking in on it. And yeah, it's kind of wild.
It's like slowly becoming my number one pet peeve, I think, is people's addiction to their phone. Like I'm addicted to games. Like I game 24/7. But when I go hang out with people, I like put my phone away.
Mm-hmm.
I like leave it in my car. I'll leave it, wherever. Like I don't always have to have it on by my side. And I think especially with my wife is like glued to her phone like 24/7. Like it's, if we're sitting there talking, and hey, you want to watch this movie? And she's like, yeah. And we'll be watching the movie, and I'll look over, and she's fucking doing something on her phone. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it makes me lose my mind. It really does. I learned to not say anything about it anymore, but I'm definitely like, I can't believe you have your phone out right now.
Yeah, I get it. I definitely get that.
Maybe I'm just old, man. I don't know.
Boomer.
Stay off my lawn.
Right.
So.
But a little bit of talk on that will lead us into poll number 2.
Okay.
For next week. Okay, so the question is, if Diablo Immortal cannot be emulated or does not have controller support, will you play it? Heck no, or yeah.
Yeah.
Post that in chat.
Interesting. I'm interested on the results of this poll quite a bit. So.
Yeah.
So take it. Do it.
Do it. Do it up.
Do it, man. So yeah, it's out. The technical. I think it's going to be around for a little bit. I think this alpha is going to last at least for a full cycle. So, I would expect to have it for like a month-ish or maybe more. But that'd be cool.
Yeah. Did they say how long it's going to go?
I think they said a full cycle. I don't think they have an actual end date, but they wanted to do a full Immortal cycle, which I think they're expecting it. I think they're gonna. This one should take around a month. Is what that's the impression I got. So I would think a month. But,
okay.
Diablo 3 had some interesting things happen yesterday. This was so if you're not aware, there was a mid-season patch yesterday, and it was a very, very tiny baby nerf to wizard damage, but I think the intent was to fix some weird bug that they noticed. And let's pull that up. Can you read the thing? I can't quite see it.
Today we fixed an unintended interaction with mirror image death, causing Fireburst 2-piece to proc a meteor to fall from the sky. This is a PC fix only.
So basically what it did is when your mirror images died, there was fireballs or meteors that would drop on the ground and they would proc your 6-piece damage bonus. And it wasn't a lot of damage. They would proc damage. I don't know. I couldn't test to see if it would proc your 6-piece because they were gone by the time that they removed it. I did try to test solo and see if my meteors did damage. And so basically from what it looked like is the damage was pretty insignificant. It wasn't a lot of damage. But it was some damage. And so it leads me to a situation where if somebody has a 1459 leaderboard clear pre-nerf, like they probably wouldn't have got that clear post-nerf.
Mm.
And so you're thinking, well, that doesn't happen. Well, if you go look at the leaderboards in the top 10, there's literally a 1459 in the top 10.
Yeah.
You know? And so that guy probably wouldn't have had that clear. It sucks, man. So part of me is like, maybe there was an exploit, maybe there was a bug, maybe there was something. They didn't wipe the leaderboards. So I guess I have some questions for you. Should they have wiped the leaderboards when they did a mid-season patch? The damage is pretty insignificant, but it is there. It is a little bit of damage. What do you think, man? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like you said, it's such a insignificant thing. Why even patch it?
That's kind of
like, just be like, we know this is a bug.
Yeah.
Get ready for the fix in season 24. You know, like, what are we doing?
Unless it was either contributing, it was doing something behind the scenes. Maybe it was part of lag stuff. Maybe it was exploitable, and we just hadn't figured out the exploit first. Maybe they, you know, like, oh, if they did this and this, it would be nasty. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case, then I get it. I would appreciate that insight. If it was GGG, they would have told us exactly why. Right. So yeah, I mean, the fact that we don't know it, we just can only assume that like they're just patching it for the sake of fixing a bug. But again, I don't agree with fixing a bug mid-season at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it sucks. I think it sucks for people that anybody that misses a clear now by like 1 or 2 seconds. To me, it's like, well, you probably would have had it pre-hit.
Probably.
Know? So I don't know. It's just a weird thing, but in the testing, it did seem like it was pretty insignificant damage. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not really going to affect many people that much.
Yeah, and as the season continues, like I said, this patch poof goes through today. There's still quite a bit of season left, so it's not like these clears are necessarily going to matter at the end of the season.
Yeah. They're not the end-all be-all clears, but it is weird.
Right. But who's really pushing all the way until the end of the season anymore?
Right. People push until the bots start to surpass them. Yeah. They're like, okay, I'm done. Or until POE launches their league 2 weeks later. Like the timing is impeccable. Like 2 weeks, I guess, is still a decent amount of time, but
yeah, 2 weeks is kind of a perfect Diablo 3 season to me at this point.
Yeah. So that's really it in the Diablo world. It's still, I'm still grinding a little bit. I'm casually playing a couple times a week. It's still fun, but the season's kind of starting to drag on a little bit, and the newness of the sets is starting to wear out. So, I think at this point the season's been live. Is this going on the 4th week? I think this is week number 4, something like that. So it's it's about what I figured it would do. It holds you over for about a month, and then we'll see if they're going to give us a mid-season thing. I don't know if that is enough to bring me back, though. If they were like, yo, double bounty mats or double goblins or something like that, I'm like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, none of that stuff really is enticing.
Yeah. Do you think they should do that or not?
Yeah, I think they should. Matters? Yeah, for those people that, I mean, they're like, we're a very different demographic. I think there are people that, like they literally log on for like an hour every week, and something like that is super exciting to them. So yeah. But for people like grind, 5 hours a night, it's probably not the craziest thing they've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like double bounties. Yeah, I have to do less than I already do.
Right.
So, how's that POE league treating you, dude?
Well, I haven't played as much as I normally there as well because of my hand, but it's been kind of a mess. So there's this meme out here, Gem of True Sight, Viridian Jewel. I like this meme a lot. It says, with at least 40 dexterity and radius, you're able to see the fucking invisible monsters. There, for some reason, this particular patch, there is just rendering issues out the ass.
Really?
Like I'll be straight up fighting stuff for like a good minute period, and like I'm casting my abilities, they don't show up. The mob's casting bad stuff on the ground, it doesn't show up. Like and it can be a problem. Like you're fighting Awakener, and you can't see like his particle effects. You can't see his die beam. You can't see the walls he spawns you in because they're just not rendering. Does it matter what
engine you render with? Does it matter if you're Vulkan or GO?
I've heard that it's associated with like a Windows update.
And everybody's blaming Windows these days for
right?
the errors. I'm like, bro, I don't know, man.
Yeah, so I don't know. It is really, really annoying. I can't speak to like the true root of it or whose fault it is.
GGG hasn't said anything about it?
I think they have, but I couldn't find any like official response before the podcast or anything like that.
That's weird. Yeah, that's crappy. I'd noticed that there were invisible season during Ritual. When you would click on the totem, a lot of times there were invisible monsters, and luckily my build had a summonable pet, like a pet totem thing I put down. And the totem would actually kill the invisible monsters. Sometimes if I couldn't find it, I could throw a totem down. If it wasn't on that side of the ritual, I would go to the other side and throw it down again, and it would usually find it and kill it for me. But it was super frustrating. There were times where I was like, where the hell is this last monster at? You know what I mean? Because you just couldn't see him. So I wonder if it's similar-ish or worse, obviously, but
no idea. And then I really enjoyed this meme as well. So the new Ultimatum League mechanic in a nutshell is just a guy like running around in a circle on a beach, because that's what you do. You touch the totem thing, and you literally just run around in a circle. It's like it's not a fun mechanic at all. I've thoroughly not enjoyed Ultimatum. I don't think it's rewarding. I don't think it's fun. I don't even think it's really challenging. You just eventually like spawn a mob that's gonna one shot you, and that's like the only time you die. It's really, I mean, I don't know.
So how does it work? Like, so I know how ritual worked. You hit the totem and it spawned creatures and you killed the creatures.
Yep.
Right. So in this one, you hit the totem.
Yep.
And then
after a time, depending on what your objective is, you can either like stand in these circles or survive or kill monsters or whatever. Right. After you do the objective, it's going to ask you like, okay, would you like to go to round 2? And it shows you like what you could potentially get from round 2. And then it keeps going like all the way up until like 10, depending on.
But it's the same thing. It's like stand in these circles, and then while monsters come kill you, or and if you step out of the circle, then you fail.
Yeah, if you step out the circle too long, it'll fail. But yeah, like every like reward I ever see, like sometimes you get some currency, like sometimes you get some chaos orbs, and you're like, okay, like that's cool, I guess. But like, you know, items pop up in there all the time. I'm like, well, I've never fucking used that. But like, then you click the next wave anyways, because you're like, well, maybe the next round will be good.
Right.
And it just, I don't know. It just sucks to me. I really,
how does
really
it
don't
feel
enjoy
with the flow of the game? Does it fit the flow of the game, or do you see it and you're like, oh fuck, man, I gotta go spend like 30 minutes doing this now?
It doesn't fit the flow of the game. I'm already like at the point. I mean, I was at the point from like day one of the league, like I didn't even want to do the new mechanics. It just feels like a waste of time because you just don't get anything out of it. But I've had like, so I always, every single time I play, I'm like, chat, what do you guys think about the new league? What do you guys think about the new league? Because I honestly want to like know, because I don't get a ton of time to watch other streamers. I see other streamers doing the mechanic, but I don't know like what their feel is for it. But I'm constantly asking chat, and chat's like, yeah, it sucks. But there's always like one guy in like 50 that's like, oh no, I love it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I think I actually had somebody comment in my Discord like they liked the new mechanic.
Yeah, but every single time I follow up with that person, it's always like, did you like this one more than last league? And they're like, oh, well, I haven't played since blank league.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So it's right.
And then in other news with Path of Exile, they nerfed Harvest, right? They talked about how they're going to nerf Harvest. And, a lot of people freaked out because they're like, oh my God, this is going to like this literally
my money.
Yeah, this is literally going to break the game, and the game's so good now, and like you're fucking us, GGG. And then, like streamers like Ziz were like, okay, well, hang on. Like they're still going to have these recipes, and we're still going to be able to craft some good stuff. You just have to like spend a little bit more, right? It's a bit more RNG than it used to be, but it's still like you can still get deterministic stuff. And even he's come back now and been like, no, this harvest nerf fucking blows, because you don't get the stuff. And like he made an argument that was pretty convincing. That was like, I'd rather it not exist, because you end up like sitting on an item because you're like, well, if I can just hit this harvest craft, like then I could make something really good potentially. But you like never, ever, ever, ever see it. But you don't want to like waste mats and then be like, dang, I got the craft finally. And like, yeah. So it like kind of, it should either not exist or it should just be like replaced with something or fixed in a way. But I will say, I go to every stream and I do this like probably once every day or maybe every couple of days. And I'm clicking through like the top 10 streams and fucking everyone's playing the exact same shit. Like they have, when I first saw the harvest nerf, I'm sure you remember, the one thing I said was like, they're nerfing build diversity. They are nerfing build diversity because you're going to be able to make these crazy good items and shit that would suck and you never ever think about playing is now viable, because like you can make items really good and can carry how bad a build is. And all I see is, everyone's playing Earthquake, Ground Slam, Slam Skills, Earth Shatter, like the same shit that we see like league after league, ED Contagion. And it's like, I remember clicking in the streams last league and everyone's like, whoa, what's this build? Like, what's this build? Oh, that looks cool. Like, what skills he using, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, EQ, cool.
EQ, do it up. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. It's funny to hear the difference in opinion, because last league you were like, dude, this is the best fucking league.
Man.
I'm having so much fun. This is amazing. I can't stop playing. Like I'm gonna lose my house because I'm a POE addict.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm gonna lose my girlfriend.
Yeah. Wait. You already did. Wait. So Ritual League cost you the lady. It's out. It's official.
Yeah. Worth it.
And this one, you're just like, damn. But
yeah.
I wonder. I wonder if that mental. This is the thing that your mental state, I think, affects how much fun you have in things too, though. If like you're not, you're going through that period of like, the breakup and
no,
all that.
I don't think that. I mean, I generally.
You don't think it matters?
I love gaming. I'm a genuinely happy person. That doesn't affect. Obviously, like life's different right now, but I don't think it has anything to do with that at all. Like if this league was popping off, I'd be playing like insane. But yeah, obviously the health stuff has really bummed me out. But
yeah. Well, that's unfortunate for PoE. I'm super pumped. People, it's been a topic that comes up frequently ever since that PoE 2 trailer comes out, and people keep talking about how good it looks. And I'm like, people are like, "Yo, did you see the new PoE 2 trailer?" I'm like, "Of course I saw it.
Yeah.
It looks fucking amazing, man. It looks so good. I can't wait." And so I don't know, dude. They've got people. I have long-term buddies of mine that I've had for years and years and years, sending me messages like, "Yo, did you see this? Have you ever played PoE? Like, what's PoE like?" It just because they saw the PoE 2 trailer.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm like, yeah, So then I shit all over PoE for a little bit. And
wow. Bex, are you listening?
I'm like, no, it's not bad. I was like, my first question is, how did you like college? And they're like, oh, I did okay. I'm like, cool. Then you'll like PoE. Go study, bitch.
Okay.
Go study.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, all you PoE fanboys. But no, it does look fun. Like I'm excited for 2024 when they release it.
Shit, 2030 at this point for D4 and PoE too.
I know, man. I feel like the D4 thing happened in 2019, and people were like, "Oh, 2020, it's gonna happen." And then it's like
right.
Now it's like, dude, if we see it in 2022, which is nutty, right? That's like 4 years ahead of when it's gonna drop.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see it for a long time, man. Which is sad, right? It's almost like recently. Well, what's that game company that made Project Red? They've come out and been like, they've come out and been like, we probably should not have like given people sneak peeks so early and built so much hype.
Yeah.
And
Cyberpunk was just I've said it from day one. Like there was no way Cyberpunk was going to live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, like I bought Cyberpunk. I fell into the hype, even though I was the first one to admit like there's no way this game's going to be as good as I want it to be. And it's a fun game, but it just wasn't what we wanted it to be. It fell short. 100% it fell short of expectations. But that being said, if this was a game you had never heard of and then you played it, you'd be like, yo, Cyberpunk's the shit, man. You should check it out.
Mhm.
But since you had this crazy, unrealistic expectation, it's like, this game's horrible. This game's garbage. I want a refund. You know?
And
It's
how
just
is this
silly.
different than Diablo 4 right now?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same. Like,
Yeah.
that's what scares me is Diablo 4 and to an effect PoE 2. I honestly, it really makes me like think, who am I talking to right now when I say this? But I'm almost more excited for PoE 2 than I am for Diablo 4 because I think PoE 2 has a higher upswing. I think, like, I'm scared with Diablo 4, and I think PoE 2 has potential to be like one of the greatest games ever if GGG can nail it, man.
Yeah, I think
So.
that the one thing that will drive your point home that, we say time and time again is like GGG has delivered time and time again.
Mhm.
When was the last time that Diablo delivered?
Yeah.
Diablo 2?
I mean,
like ROS was like, yay, but it wasn't like,
Yeah.
yes, this is what everyone's been wanting. And
I think so. The reason that I say that, and so if people are like, "Oh my God, what the hell did he just say?" Like, listen, I want Diablo 4 to be better than PoE 2 because
Right.
I'm a Diablo fanboy. But
Mhm.
when I sit back and I look at the evidence, it's like, okay, this is what GGG showed me about PoE 2, and this is what Blizzard's shown me about Diablo 4. Like, there's so much more shit to get excited for PoE 2 than there is for D4. Like, D4, the itemization still looks not good to me. The talent tree was almost a joke. Even on the second iteration, it still was like, no, man, this is not like a talent tree to me. So things are moving in the right direction with Diablo 4, and I hope that these sneak peeks are just like, hey, these are like groundwork, and we're going to grow on this, and it's going to be awesome. But I don't know, man. Like, I honestly I'm more excited, I think, right now for PoE 2. And that'll change when D4 gets closer to, maybe because I think PoE 2 is going to come out sooner, which it probably will. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If somebody was like, what game are you most looking forward to coming out in the near future? I'm going to be like PoE 2, I guess, But the thing to me is like, do I have to be a PoE 1 fucking super ninja nerd
Yes.
to understand PoE 2?
Yes.
From like if it doesn't reinvent and shake things up enough where like people coming in still like, oh, this is how you craft this and this and that and this, like, and that shit's still the stuff to have, then like it's not a whole new game. It's like
You're
if you made
not, they
Diablo,
never
if
promised a whole new game. Again,
it's got a 2 at the end.
they never promised a whole new game.
I'm just saying. It's like if you go to Diablo 4 and they put runes in it and all the recipes are the same from Diablo 2, you're gonna be like, wait, but we already know all the recipes, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if there was like, say, I don't know, 100 more things to do in Diablo 2, would that be a bad game? Probably not.
No. So I'm not saying they have to get rid of all the old stuff, by the way. I'm just saying, like, I just want it to be, I don't know.
But you're expecting to
a
go
lot of
into it with no knowledge of PoE 1 and then you'll be able to pick it up. No, it's going to be like, oh, because you don't know stuff about PoE 1, yeah, you're going to be at a significant disadvantage in PoE 2.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But I want the knowledge to be like, if everything works the exact same, like, what's the end game going to be? Is it going to be mapping with the same maps and systems that we already have?
Probably
You know what I'm saying?
not, because like we'll
That's
have
what I'm
new
saying.
leagues by then. We'll keep getting new and new leagues, and every, was it 2 or 3 leagues, there's like a big one. So like, the last update with Ritual was, the Maven, and Maven like completely shook up like what you're doing with the skill trees and her fight alone. So yeah, I mean, obviously the end game will look very different, but it's not because of PoE 2. Probably it'll just be because all the leagues that will happen between now and PoE 2.
I think it'll fix it up. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited either way. I think it looks good from a standpoint, and I think if they can, I think PoE checks a lot of boxes for like pretty much every box in an ARPG except for mechanical execution in the game. And I think if they can, and it looks like they have polished that up significantly, I think that it could be like, yo, this hits all the check marks, man. Let's go get busy with it. So
Yeah, I
I'm
think
excited
even if
for it,
they
man.
don't check those check boxes, it's still going to be phenomenal. But
It still
obviously,
looks-
I would
it
want
still
it to
looks-
be better.
yeah. it still looks leaps and bounds better
Yeah.
than what it is now.
Yeah.
So, and now you have to give it the crown. Like it's the
Yeah, for sure.
ARPG. I mean, it's like this is the best ARPG on the market, and it's going to get better. So it's
Mhm.
you know, I don't see how it could be a bad scenario.
Yep.
So that's kind of it for the
Mhm.
week as far as the ARPG news and stuff. What are you hating on this week, man?
Dang. So many things.
I got some loves.
Okay, go.
So lately it's just been a lot of shows. What I've been watching. So I watched Endgame for like the 50 millionth time the other night.
Why?
With PYF. I don't know. It's
Okay.
just on. Like so, we turned it. We got back and we were outside. It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We went out. We were doing stuff. We got back to the house, turned the TV on, and Endgame was on TNT. And we're like, oh shit. Okay, we just watched it. So it's just, I guess we're watching this now. Because once you start watching a little bit of it, I'm glued. So we watched Endgame, and then as soon as that was done, like we got to finish Falcon and Winter Soldier. Have you seen that yet?
I have.
Did you watch the entire thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we watched the finale of that. I thought it was good. I liked it, man. I was happy with it. And so we did that. So I had a good sitting. So it made me start Googling and thinking like, dude, what are they gonna do to top Endgame? Like they had 10 years of movies that culminated with this one film.
Yep.
You think they're ever gonna top that? They're gonna pull that off again?
I think it's not out of the realm of possibility. It just seems like with most things, like the longer it goes on, usually like the worse it gets until something else becomes like the new hotness, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure you saw recently, they've announced, like officially announced this prequel to Game of Thrones that they've started filming.
Yeah, it's gonna be garbage.
I know, and so I'm thinking in my head, like, well, Game of Thrones was good because there was all this like amazing writing behind it, and then that one season where there was no writing, oh, guess what? It was really fucking bad.
Yeah, hey, remember when George R.R. Martin didn't finish the book and then HBO finished the series?
That was shit. Yeah,
that's what happens.
And now there's gonna be a whole show
of shit
of that.
Yeah,
so.
I imagine it'll be shitty. But there's so much comic book lore for them to go off of. Like there's some really good story, and that's what a lot of it's based off of. You know, they go off these comic book stories. So I don't know, man. I hope that with this next phase 5 and 6 and whatever phases we're in for this Marvel Cinematic Universe, I love the Marvel movies, and hope they continue to make them. But back to the loves and hates thing. Like I don't know, but man, when I watch Endgame, it bums me out. Like I get depressed for like at least a day after I see it because for so many reasons. For one, spoilers if you haven't seen Endgame, what the hell? But spoilers. So Captain is like old and done, like he's gone, right? He had his nice little life, but he's not going to be in any future movies.
Now. Right.
That bums me out. 2, Robert Downey's character, Iron Man, like rip. Like so we don't have any more Captain and any more Iron Man ever. Like that makes me sad. And then plus the whole Iron Man thing is like, I'm good until the point they show Chris Evans cry a little bit, like his like Captain standing there and like a tear goes down it. I'm like, oh dude, come on, man. Hits you in the feels. It just makes me sad. I'm just like, damn, no more Robert Downey, no more Chris Evans.
Damn.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. But honestly, let's be honest for a second here, right? So if you've seen the show, Captain America is not that unique, really, at the end of the day.
No. Well, yeah, that's kind of.
And then we're not gonna go into that, right? But 2, like literally anyone could be Iron Man. Like you could just put another smart guy in a suit, just give him the tech.
But it's not the same, dude. Like he killed it. He made.
No, he was great. Don't get me wrong. I like him.
He killed it, man. And I think Chris Evans killed it too. I think they both did a phenomenal job. And it's just sad that we're not going to see those actors play those iconic roles again. Like I want to see more of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's kind of the crappy part. And then like they, you start thinking about movies, and then there's like Chadwick Boseman rip. It's like damn, no Black Panther 2. shit
True.
like that, and it's just like, damn, dude, like it just sucks to see these things end. It's like, man. So, but anyways, my loves is the the MCU. I'm excited for the new stuff that's coming out, man. They're like Chris Hemsworth said that he's interested in doing Thor even after his contract expires. He wants to keep playing it. So more Thor movies, more Guardian of the Galaxy movies. I think this Black Widow movie, like I have a feeling this could be a bomb. For some reason, I just feel like this Black Widow movie is gonna suck. I hope not.
Really?
Man, I don't know. Like they delayed it a couple times.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's been
Rona,
pushed
dude.
back. I know, I get it, but it's been pushed back like almost 2 years. It's like, dude, like if it was almost finished and in post processing before, how did it get pushed back 2 years? Like, did you like watch it and be like, man, this is bad. Let's fix it. Let's make it better, or what? I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope it's the bomb. But
Yeah, and then they just announced the
Shin something. Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
Neither do
So
I don't know anything about any of these guys.
but I'm like, cool.
But
I'm down.
that goes to my fluff hates, right?
Okay.
So I never watched or never read comic books. I was never
Okay.
into any of that. But I can
Okay.
sit down, I can watch a Marvel movie, most of them, and walk away like, that was okay.
I got it.
Like, I get it. It was okay. I enjoyed my experience. Mortal Kombat came out last week.
Hold on now. No spoilers. 'Cause
No
people probably
spoilers.
haven't seen it yet. I watched this too. Okay.
No
All right.
spoilers.
You played MK as a kid growing
Of course.
up, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Mortal Kombat, you know, like 1 through 3, right? Like
Yeah. Same
When it was
here. 1 through 3. That's what
popular.
I grew up on.
now,
Yeah.
and I get there's still like this big culture around it, but yeah, I again, it goes back into the thing we say time after time after time is I hate when movies go too fucking far into the realm of nerd. Stop it. Like a movie should be enjoyable.
What did you didn't think like I knew everything. The only thing I didn't know was the main character because apparently the movie invented him. But every other character in there, I was like, I knew exactly who it was.
Nope. What? Like the guy with the hammer? I didn't know. That wasn't 1 through 3, right?
No, I don't think he was in 3. But I still had kind of heard of that guy. Like I was like, I think I remember him. Okay.
Anyways, that didn't
But
matter.
he didn't have a big part though. But okay.
But yeah, but anyways, I don't care about any of that, right? It's just, you know, here's the thing, right? They released like the first 6 minutes, right? To get people excited, right? First 6 minutes are probably the best minutes of the entire movie.
I don't even remember the first. Okay.
I mean, it's open. It's an open trailer right now. It's like where, you know,
Is it the chase?
Sub-Zero comes to the nice
Okay.
place, right?
Remember. Yeah.
And you know, Sub-Zero was cool, you know, to an extent. But yeah, like the one thing that really destroyed it was all the really gimmicky like one-liners that, and I get like you want to make your fanboys happy, but you don't have to like fucking sell out and do something really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an awful movie.
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was. People asked me if I thought it was better than a '95 movie, and my answer is no. I don't think it is. I don't think it was better than the 1995 movie, but I actually liked that movie quite a bit. Back in '95, I watched the crap out of it. Oh man, it's so hard to not. I guess I can't really talk about it because of spoilers. But there were things that I disliked about it. But overall, I had a good time. It was fun to see a reinvention of some of the old fan favorites like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and those guys that you know. Like, you know, they could have used Goro a lot more, I feel like, and things like that. But all in all, it was okay. I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I think it would have been a lot more interesting had it, like, you know, like I said, the first 6 minutes were okay. I think if it maybe just like focused on that kind of story, like, you know, everybody knows Scorpion, everybody knows Sub-Zero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And if it just like maybe focus more on that instead of like adding a million characters and like a bunch of goofy lines and people you have no idea like what is their deal, and you know, just don't expect people to know shit. I can't stand that about movies. You can have a movie that's incredibly nerdy, but doesn't leave the audience wondering like, what the fuck are they even talking about right now?
Maybe that's the difference, man. Maybe I'm the nerd, so I got all the jokes, and maybe that's why I liked it. You know what I mean? Like I got everything. I knew who all the characters were except for the main dude. I'm like, I don't know who the hell the protagonist is supposed to be, but everybody else, I knew him. I'm like, I know, like as soon as they would show a dude, I'm like, oh, there's, XYZ. So, and all the one-liners I totally got. And like, I was predicting things. Maybe that's the mark that it's not good is when like, it's just spoilers. I can't even talk about it. We honestly, we need to have a movie, a break-off side podcast where we just fucking criticize the new movies that come out, because I feel like we do this all the time on the podcast. Totally. We try to dance around it, and it's like we shouldn't. We should need a spoiler cast where we just go ham. So, anyways, it was okay. I don't think it was. I didn't leave it being like, you got to see this. It was great, but I also didn't leave saying like, that was garbage. I can't believe they made that movie. It was what I expected. I didn't expect the movie to be phenomenal. I expected it to be crappy, and it was a little bit better than my expectations. So I think a 7 out of 10 is an average movie. I think that's like, I'm not pissed off I spent a couple dollars to see this, and that's what it was.
I think that whoever did the trailer, that guy did a great job, and I think that they portrayed it in such a way that like, oh, this could be quite a decent movie. I think whoever directed the first 6-7 minutes of the film, good job, but I honestly think it's a hot pile of garbage, and I walked away completely regretting my time.
That's interesting, man. Okay. All right. What's the okay. We're going to go on a movie scale. What would you rate out of 10 Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat movie?
1.
Bro, come on, man. A 1?
It's so fucking cheesy and so nerdy and so stupid.
A 1?
Yes.
Fluff, we can't even realistically have a scale if you're going to get like, there are way worse movies than that.
It was bad.
Oh my God.
For like a movie of that, okay, can we factor in like budget and like, you know what I mean? Like for a movie with that kind of budget, it was a 1 out of 10.
Just give it, okay. Okay, so what was Wonder Woman 84?
3?
That's a fucking, 3. That was worse than Mortal Kombat.
No,
dude.
It wasn't.
No, it was worse than Mortal Kombat, dude.
You've got good acting-ish.
No, it's just Gal Gadot is hot. That's the only thing in 84 that was even redeemable, is like, yo, she's in a miniskirt the whole time and she's a 10 out of 10. That's it. Okay. All right. So I would
it's still a terrible score, team. Like,
dude, she was acting like
which pile of shit is more appealing to you? Like, who cares? They both suck.
I'm just trying to get a scale here. We're just trying to balance out.
Ask me about a good movie.
Okay, hold on. Well, I'm trying to think of one that came out recently that was good. Like what else have we even had? We haven't had movies the last 2 years. Honestly, there haven't been movies that have come out. So I would say Wonder Woman was probably 5 out of 10. I mean, that's like below average in my opinion, like a 5. And then I would put Mortal Kombat at like a 7.
A 7 out of 10?
Yeah, I wasn't pissed off. I wasn't like, if I went to the theater and paid money to see it, I didn't leave and be like, I want a refund. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, 10 out of 10.
You're the guy on Rotten Tomatoes being like 99%. The critics give it like 42.
No, dude. I don't know.
This movie's a masterpiece.
I wouldn't give it a 1. A 1 is like, goddamn, dude. That's horrible. It's like, here, director, let me shit on your lunch plate while you eat your meal, dude.
If it's shit, it's shit.
All right. Anyways, that's a nice Fluff and PChild review. Siskel and Ebert right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this with Twitter questions, man. You guys ask the questions. We answer them live on the podcast. If you want to submit questions, you can join our Discords or tweet at Lord__Fluffy or at ThaPChild. The first question comes from T-Foss. T-Foss says, does anybody know the statistical probability of getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 keys using the Kane set in T16? Absolutely not. Like, I'm not
7.38734.
But if somebody wants to answer that question, you can feel free to drop the answer in my Discord where he asked it. And Yeah, I don't know. Demonic Grizz says, what would you think about a Nemesis system in Diablo 4? If you don't know, the Nemesis system is, I believe it's a console specific. Is
Diablo
it all
3.
consoles? I don't know if it's just PlayStation or what, but I think it's all consoles. If you have a friend and your friend gets killed, then there's a chance for that friend's ghost to come attack you. It's a nemesis to come attack you, and if you kill it, you get loot like a goblin, I think. I've never actually had it happen because I don't have friends on console. I only have PC friends.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what would you think about a system like that in D4?
I mean, there's like 1,000 PoE leagues I'd like to see before that system. I would say, you know, invest time into something else. It's okay, but yeah, meh.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad. I honestly think it's a gimmick just to promote console. I think it was like a thing they did for a console. I don't think it really has a place in D4. I think if they're having to rely on a Nemesis system for D4, then we're in a lot of trouble. So I hope it's not in there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The next question comes from Maester Magus. He says, at PChild, do you share a blanket with your significant other, or do you each get their own? He completely excluded you from this question, Fluff.
So fresh.
That's deep. So I'm gonna say we have our own blankets.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. My wife would steal all the blankets. She rolls up in it, and it would piss me off, and I'd roll up in it, and it'd piss her off, and we'd end up like literally getting a tug of war in the middle of the night, and it didn't take us very long. We've had our own blankets, I think, from like the second month we've been dating. You know, as soon as she started staying over at my place, I was like, no, this isn't working. This isn't going to work. Here, this is your blanket. Here's my blanket.
Huh.
And it's always been that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've always shared a blanket with my significant other. But there is, you know, in the current year, there's a lot more couples that are, you know, not only not sharing a blanket, but not even sleeping in the same room. Like that's becoming, you know, more and more common.
I did that for a while. So like when I grew up, I always slept on the couch, like always, and to the point where I had a decent sized bedroom growing up, and I had a couch in my bedroom, and so I had a bed, and then I had a couch along the wall and a TV and stuff, so we could chill and watch TV on the couch, and I would sleep on my couch my whole childhood growing up, and it was a thing, and so when I met my wife, I would sleep on the couch in my apartment like 90% of the time. I would sleep on my couch and not sleep in the bed.
Wow.
And then when she started staying the night, that became a problem because there wasn't room for two of us to sleep on the couch, right? So she, you know, I used to fall asleep on the couch all the time, and she used to start complaining. She'd be like, listen, you got to start coming to bed and sleeping in bed. And I'm like, all right, if it bothers you that much, you know, I'll do it. So I'm just weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's wild for sure. To sleep in separate rooms. I mean, I don't know anyone personally that does that, but I've heard about it, and it's becoming more and more common, I think. But
my grandparents did it. They each had their own bedroom and bathroom in their house.
dang.
Like 100%. They're like, yo, he sleeps here. This is mine. This is his. It was. I thought that they hated each other. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but they did it their whole. As long as I knew them, they did that. They lived in their own. They had their own.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was with Lindsay, I mean, if it was up to her, we would have gone to bed together every single night. And if I didn't come to bed and, you know, like snuggle up for a minute, you know, there'd probably been an issue.
Yeah. That's something that my wife's really cool about it now, but I think it's the same way. Like if we're sitting downstairs, like let's say it's Saturday night, I'm not streaming and we're watching a movie, right? The movie's over and she's tired. She's like, okay, let's go to bed. Like it's bedtime. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, good night. Give me a kiss. But just because you're going to bed why do I have to go to bed? I don't understand that mentality.
Yeah.
So
that was a big point between us.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it's fine, but I'm going to stay up and do things. So good night. Let's see. James Harry says, what is the most believable conspiracy theory you've ever heard? I've heard of some recently, and man, I'm trying to think what it was. I know there was one recently. I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
I mean,
I know some people.
I find the landing on the moon, particularly fascinating.
Yeah, that's one I was going to bring up as like a potential.
I know it's offensive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I also know that, the 9/11 conspiracies are very offensive, but I do find those very fascinating as well.
The 9/11 ones are pretty convincing too, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of those to be like, well, the towers are not theirs and people are gone. So like, what's the conspiracy? Is that the government did it? Like we're just blaming people? I don't understand. I don't know
there's conspiracies that, that the just the impact of the planes were not enough of a force, and the fires were not enough of a force to actually bring the buildings down, and that it was controlled demolition type of situation.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if this is a conspiracy or whatever, but I would totally like to raid Area 51 and see the alien stuff. Like, if somebody like, hey, you can go anywhere on the planet you want, let's Area 51, baby, let's go do it. Like, I want to see alien shit, dude. And even if you actually got to go to Area 51 and say they had aliens and spacecraft and shit like that, what would it do to you? Would it mind F you, or would you be okay? Would you be able to process it and handle it?
Yeah, I'd be like, show me more. Like, what do you know? Like, let's go. Like, give me the knowledge. Let's go. I'm excited.
I would be down. I would, man, that's something that would totally change your life though. Like you wouldn't come back home and just be like, yo, I'm going to go stream on Twitch tonight. Like you would come home and you'd be like, there's aliens out there, dude. We got to find these aliens. We gotta like,
imagine too, if you're given access and like you're communicating with these other beings and you're seeing all the technology, and then like poof, in an instant they kick you out and no one ever talks about it again. You'd be fucked.
Like,
you'd be fucked mentally for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man. Did you ever watch that David led? Was it? Oh fuck, what was the name? I've talked about this before on the pod. I can't remember the guy. The guy that got apparently was like the ex Area 51 worker. He put out that Netflix documentary.
No, you talked about that. Yeah.
Man, that shit it's good. It was a fun watch, man. Regardless if you do or don't believe in it, it was still entertaining to watch.
Okay.
Especially for me, because I want to be like, yo, Area 51's real, dude.
Bob
David
Lazar.
That's it. Yeah. That's on Netflix. If you guys want to watch some cool alien stuff, check it out. What else, man? Hex says you each get to choose a superpower, but then you get to choose a side effect for the other's chosen superpower. All right. So pick a superpower first, and I'm gonna pick a superpower.
Obviously, we've had this discussion before. I'm curious if you remember this discussion. What is your chosen superpower?
I don't remember anything ever. So I'm gonna go with I mean, you have to pick one. Flying would be pretty dope, but invisibility would be pretty dope too. I don't know, man.
Pick one.
Shit. All right, I'm gonna go with super intelligence.
Okay, thank God. Thank God. If you would have picked flying, I would have shut the podcast down right fucking now. I don't have a joke for the guy that picks flying. Like, what a stupid superpower. Like, just get the plane. Like, what do you mean? There's so many better superpowers.
It would be fun to be able to fly.
Sure, great. But think of all the things you could do with an actual superpower. Fucking flying.
If you could fly, you could be like, dude, I'm in Hawaii in like 2 hours or 10 seconds. I don't know how long it takes you to get there.
Cool. You can teleport there too. That'd be a cooler power.
That would be a cooler power. Super intelligence, man. I'd be like,
that's better.
You know, that's got to be the play, right?
Design us Diablo 10. Let's go. Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, controlling space and time. I think that's like the ultimate one.
You want to be
Hiro Nagamura?
Doctor Strange? Okay, I got you. Yeah, Hiro.
Yeah.
What a good TV show that got ruined, man.
I know, right? Season 1. I remember being so addicted to that back in 2009?
It was the first couple seasons, and then it's like as soon as it flipped, it went from heroes to being villains, right? Didn't they kind of do a thing? I don't know. The first couple seasons were good, and then it was like, what the hell are they doing?
Okay, so what's your weakness? Oh, wait, I get to pick your weakness.
No, yeah. So I got super intelligence, and you got what did you pick again?
I'll say control space and time.
Okay, space and time. Okay. All right, so I got to pick a side effect for you getting this,
or a weakness, right? Or
no, it's like a side effect.
Okay.
Like if you use your power, like I don't know, like you just because you have these powers, now you have this other side effect.
Hmm. I was gonna say, if it was your weakness, it could just be frozen hot dogs. He's so smart.
God.
Throw a hot dog
You
at
just
him.
wave a frozen hot dog. Oh man, a can of SpaghettiOs for Fluff. Oh no, it's like Popeye's spinach. All right, if I gotta choose, okay, so that's okay. So we'll take it. We'll take it three ways. We'll say weakness, and then we'll say side effect from having these powers
Okay.
too. All right.
Okay, your weakness is a frozen hot
side
dog.
effect. Fluff's side effect is impotency.
I mean, I control space and time. I could
It
even
doesn't
make it
matter.
look turgid, you know?
It doesn't matter, dude. Never get to use it ever again.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if you're giving me impotence, I'm just gonna give you a permanent state of explosive diarrhea.
Permanent?
Yeah.
24/7.
24/7.
Okay. All right. Every time. Every time.
And the
you
one thing that
control
would
space
fix
and
it would be the frozen hot dog, but you can't eat them because it's your weakness.
I got you. Okay. All right. Get your can of SpaghettiOs out. He's like, oh no. Let's see. Blue Rose says, what's a food combination that sounds horrid, but is actually really good together? Speaking of food, I already know. I already know my answer.
Really?
I've probably even told everybody to try this.
If you say steak and ketchup, I want to punch you.
No, it's even better than. You ready?
Okay.
Pizza rolls and ketchup.
It's so disgusting.
No,
It's
listen.
like you're like the Martha Stewart of Walmart right now. It's fantastic.
This is a challenge to everybody listening. Get some pizza rolls and just put a little, dip them in some ketchup. Try it. Just try it. Somebody's gonna report back and be like, you know what, P, that shit's actually delicious. It's good. It brings out this spiciness. I'm not joking. I really eat them with ketchup.
Gosh, a combo that you would not expect to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I mean, I've had so much random food in my life.
What do you eat? You don't have a dish that most people are like, that's kind of weird.
I really don't think I do, unfortunately.
Plain Jane over here.
I'm not plain. Like I don't know.
Ketchup on steak. Nothing, huh? Nothing funky.
I mean, the worst thing I do is like I do like my steak. I mean, I don't love red in the steak, and that offends some people.
Because you don't want it to be super,
Tender.
Yeah.
I really can't think of. Honestly, like I don't think I've ever disgusted anyone with something that I like. It's like not a feeling I'm familiar with.
Okay. All right. Well, Fluff opts out because he doesn't have.
I mean, I really wish I could think of something. I tried Vegemite. That's terrible. I hated Vegemite.
Yeah. I can't think. I don't like most things, so it's pretty. There's a lot of yo, P, is there anything I should never eat? Yes.
I mean, honestly, I talk about this a lot. When people are always like, "What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?" Right? I mean, a lot of weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually did unironically enjoy. I was eating a tarantula, and I was picking off the legs, and they were quite good. And I was dipping them in like hot sauce, and it was actually no cap. It was like a peanutty fried green bean kind of thing.
How
delicious.
How did you even put that in your mouth?
It's quite good.
How did you put a tarantula in your mouth? Fucking nasty, dude.
But the story always falls through, and it was like one of the worst things I've ever had in my whole life was eating the web sack.
Oh my God,
that was.
I'm gonna throw up. All right, this conversation.
Just even saying the word web sack.
That's so nasty, dude. You are a nasty individual. Like, you can't even talk about me eating a frozen hot dog. You ate a tarantula web sack, dude.
I mean, honestly, the world would be a more sustainable place if we ate more insects. So, like, I'm always willing to try something once. But yeah, the web sack of a tarantula team, just don't.
Oh my God, dude! I don't know how you did that. Did you watch the challenge yet? Have you caught up?
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
You're all caught up.
Thank God that someone went home. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I guess mini spoilers if you're a challenge fan and you haven't seen it. I don't know what you're doing, but The eating section of the final. Whew, baby.
Yo.
That's the thing.
That one
would
dude
break
is
me.
such a little bitch, dude.
He is such a bitch, dude.
He's
I
such
can't
a
wait for the reunion
douche. Yeah.
show. Dude, they're gonna tear his ass apart.
Yes.
And it's
and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I would have won it all, you know.
I would have won it all, but it was my partner." Like, no, bitch, you didn't eat
Fucking little
anything.
bitch.
So that eating section that they have though,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I don't know if I
Easy.
could do that.
Easy, no problem.
They chat. This is disgusting. They had to drink a big ass cup of goat's blood.
Yep.
I don't think I could do that, man.
Just chug it. Just get it down. What's the big deal?
Yeah, but can you throw it up? Do you have to?
Of
keep it
course.
down?
No, you can throw it up.
Well, then I'd be fine. I'd just swallow.
No, you
throw it,
wouldn't.
swallow,
You
throw it.
wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to do it. You'd be what's his face, dude.
No, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't bitch out like that.
No,
That
you
was
would too. You can't
Nah.
eat shit that's weird, dude.
If it was $1 million on the line, I'd eat some weird shit. Yeah. Anyways, a challenge would be fun as hell, dude.
Yeah.
So, Acre says, "How much?" Oh, okay. This one's kind of almost along the lines. How much would someone have to pay you to dig their cell phone out of a porta potty? Like, let's say I went into we're at a BlizzCon, right? And they got
Yeah.
a porta potty set up, and I mean it's nasty. And I drop my celly down there.
Mhm.
I'm like, Fluff, will you grab my cell phone? Will you get my cell phone out of that porta potty? How much?
I mean, am I allowed to build a device?
I mean, no, you have to like reach in with your hand and grab that shit.
I mean, if it's hand reachable, I mean, not
Yeah.
much at all. But like
You would just
usually
do it?
those are like you have to like get
it's
down
like
in
submerged.
there, right?
It's submerged. Okay, like it's under the liquid and the brown goo.
Yeah, if I just have to reach my hand in there and just like sift through some
Mhm.
like human excrement, I don't give a fuck. I'll do it for $1,000.
$1,000?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that's a grand's a lot of money. That's that's a lot.
Who cares?
Okay.
I'll throw a glove on. You know what the fuck is the problem?
No glove.
No gloving, no loving. No, I don't know.
I don't-
5K then? Who cares?
5K? Yeah. I wouldn't. I mean, the price of a phone's like $1,200. So if it's more than that, the person's not going to do it, right? So
Yeah.
I would just. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get grossed out by like normal people grossed out shit. Like,
I don't want to
it's just
reach my
what it
hand
is.
into other people's.
Yeah, sure,
crap,
but it's
though.
not the biggest deal. It wouldn't be.
I probably wouldn't. If
Yeah.
somebody was like, "I'll give you $1,000 to do it," because the phone cost $1,000, I could just buy it for anything more. I just.
So if you wouldn't reach your hand into a smelly concoction of human excrement, but you would eat something that smells even worse than that. Get out of here.
For $1 million.
Get the fuck out of here. No,
For
you
$1
wouldn't.
million bucks, we're talking about
No.
1,000 versus $1 million.
You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do shit.
That's it, man. That's all the nasty questions that we had this week. You guys were on something with these, with this stuff. I think the food topics, people like the food.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh,
know?
yeah. I was almost. Yep. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had to sneeze.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh.
I had to sneeze twice. It's always twice, man. Yeah. Speaking of things, we forgot to hype.
Yeah.
We didn't hype.
Every week, forget the hype.
We forget the hype. So, remind us next week, guys, if you're here live, to hype the hype for 150. 150 is going to be fun, man.
It is.
Confirm.
Maybe even IRL. Maybe.
Maybe IRL. Yeah. You still got two mics?
Yes, sir.
Can't see. SM7B? Too?
SM7B.
Oh, shit. You got me hooked up with that good stuff. Huh?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe IRL. So that's it, man. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, make sure you join our Discords, follow us on Twitter, tweet at us. There's lots of ways that you can get the messages to us. And we'll catch you guys next week for episode 146. You can, I guess I'll catch you guys then.
Sweet as. Peace.